Before we start our episode, let us thanks to our sponsor, the Sports Lawyer Masterclass. Sports Lawyer Masterclass is a platform where you can go and learn about the what are the things which are needed in the sports industry, what are the things that you have to learn, especially in the law field. So the thing is, the Sports Lawyer Masterclass help you out to get the knowledge aspect of this law as well as what are the practical aspects of the sports law. So I will put the link in the description box. Go and check that out. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sports Law Sage podcast. My name is Tushar Katheria. I'll be the host for today's episode. In this episode, we invited Mr. Keyur Sanghavi, who is an associate in the PwC-India, and he is working in their sports advisory team. Mr. Sanghvi had graduated from the University of Mumbai, and after graduating from the Mumbai, he went to the work with the SportsConsult for 2 years. After working for 2 years, he went to Germany where he pursued his master's in global sports management from the accadis Hochschule Bad Homburg. He also have experience in working with the TAFISA, which is the Association for International Sports for All. So without wasting any time, let's head on to our podcast in 3, 2, 1. So first of all, thank you so much, Keyur, for accepting our invitation in such a short notice. So how are you right now, Keyur?
It's my pleasure. So all good right now. I hope you're doing well. Firstly,
Yeah, yeah. Thank you
and
so much for
thank
asking it.
you for
Yeah,
extending me the invitation for this podcast.
yeah.
And I'm really excited to talk about topics on esports, metaverse, NFTs, and also a bit about myself, helping out budding sports management aspirants on what route did I take and how did I make it in the industry.
That will be great for us for the all the listeners who want to end up and want to pursue their career in the sports management and the sports industry right now. So the first question would be for you would be how was your childhood and how was the journey went from school to the Mumbai University and how the transition happened at that time?
So, I mean, as a kid, I was heavily involved in sports, playing
Mm-hmm.
sports. So, I played basketball and athletics, mainly shot put and discus and athletics. So, I was very much into it. I played up till national level. And it was a surreal experience as a kid, going to different tournaments, having this competitive spirit in you, being built upon since you're a kid, and experiencing what sports is all about. So that got me really into following a lot of sports in the world. So I used to, when I was a kid, I used to follow F1, chess, golf, name it, and I followed that sport for the
Uh,
moment. And so, I mean, after playing sports up to national level, after passing out my school, uh, I did not really expect to do something in the sports industry or be related to sports even at that point, because I had no information on there's an industry called sports management industry and there's things going around here. So I mean, I was just clueless. I just started doing commerce because I was into maths and accounting. So, but that's when the main transition came in. So when I entered, you people might say high school. We people from Mumbai, we call it junior college. So
yeah.
when I transitioned from my school to junior college, I was playing a huge part in organizing various cultural events in my college, and that is where I had this attraction towards organizing events and stuff. And the part time after like studies and cultural activities, I was also handling several blogs on football teams and updating news and stuff for people free of cost. So I always wanted to. That was a point where I felt like I always want to stay connected to sports in some or the other way. And at that point, being in a junior college in Mumbai, I think football was one of the sports which
Mm.
helps you get connected to a lot of people easily. So that's what happened. And when I transitioned from junior college to college,
Mm.
I got more intrigued into how do sports events happen. So let's start doing something. So I used to live in a hostel, And luckily I had this opportunity to organize sports events for my college and for my hostel at that point. And that is when I got this first taste of what a sports management or sports event managing looks like.
Hmm.
And luckily, with my parents' support, after graduating, I started working at this company called SportsConsult, now Sports Village,
Yeah.
and I worked there for nearly 2 years over there. I was working mainly in organizing sports events pan India, and it was a great journey of 2 years. Like, I joined as an intern, I left as a key
Hmm.
account manager. It was a huge learning period in those 2 years.
Yeah, good to
So
know
yeah.
that how your transition happened, and you work in the sports consults for 2 years, and you as an intern you join, and there's only some of the people who join as an intern and then they got the permanent offer from that firm or any organization. It's good to know. And what I see in the Mumbai right now, what the sports culture, it's heavily based on the cricket because it's one of the hub in India. It's one of the hub, and and you choose to play football. And right now, what the ecosystem right now in Mumbai right now, it's really good. It's developing, and that's how right now the one of the most renowned sports club in England, Premier League, they invested in one of the club in Mumbai into the football club, and they are flourishing right now. So yeah, good to know that you choose other sports right now rather than following the cricket. Because for us, because I grew up in the North India, and the only sport we know about it's about cricket because we are closely connected to it, as well as we have that kind of ecosystem, especially in the region which I am living in, our the region which is Kanpur, Lucknow, where we have a majority of the sports, the majority of the clubs right now is in cricket right now. So yeah, that's why we follow the cricket. But if we get the overall picture right now in India, most of the cities like Mumbai, Kolkata, Goa, Kerala, even the northeastern states, they are heavily focused in the multicultural sports culture, which I think it's a really good for us right now in India if we want to flourish and we want to participate in the global events. So we have to encourage this multi-sports culturism, and I think. Khelo India University Games, which happened in the past 4 to 5 years, which really helped to promote the other sports activities right now. So I think it's really good that you pursued in football because
So
there are only less people who choose sports like chess, and chess is also which is right now flourishing right going good in India. And this year also we having a chess Olympiad in Chennai in July. I think in the end of the July we having a chess Olympiad. It's really good for the India to getting a such kind of exposure that how the tournament is going to be organized. Because in 2020 we won the joint winner with the Russia in the chess Olympiad, and we won the gold medal at that time, and it was the first time that it happened.
yes, so there's a funny story on why did I not follow or play cricket when I was a
Please
kid.
go ahead. We are
So,
very inclined to know about it.
so I was doing athletics, basketball, and I had a coach who
Hmm.
dedicated himself completely towards developing athletics or basketball in our city, on a town.
Hmm.
And he had the strict policy that if you're playing in my club, if you're playing other sports, you're not allowed to play cricket. And
Oh.
somehow my parents were also convinced of this particular thing, and
Hmm.
even they kind of pushed me to not play cricket in a serious manner. Even obviously I can play with my friends and everything,
Hmm.
but not in a serious manner, since it increases the chance of injury when I'm playing my other sports seriously, and it just hampers a lot of efforts they're putting in.
Hmm.
So I was never inclined towards cricket at that point, and that's how it is. It's always been.
Yeah, kudos to your parents that they not only forced to go and play the cricket, but want to you want to get the exposure in the other sports. So moving on to the next question, you went to the Germany and you pursued a master's in global sports management at accadis Hochschule Bad Homburg. If I'm wrong, please correct me if I spell the name rightly. So yeah, how is the experience in Germany, and how did you ended up in the Germany? Because in the Germany you see lots of the students they went to pursue their bachelor's or master in technological or a IT industry, but you went to the sports, you want to pursue your career in sports. How you ended up and you got to know that there are universities in Germany who are offering such kind of courses? So please go ahead, please tell us about it.
So when I was doing my research on where to do my masters, I obviously
Mhm.
came across names of, like, I had options of USA,
Mhm.
Australia, UK, Germany, and what the thing that attracted me towards Germany was that Germany is a hub for a lot of sporting organizations in the
Mm-hmm.
world, not just football. If we look today, a lot of esports organizations are in Germany. A lot of mega sports events like International Paralympic Committee and other things, other such International Table Tennis Federation, a lot of sporting international federations are in Germany.
Yeah.
So I just felt that Germany might be a right move to make, given that they have a proper master's course which is taught in English, which is a very important factor. So
Mm.
I just thought Germany was the right step to take. And accadis Hochschule, it's known for its sports management program.
All
So
right.
that's how I ended up over there. Over there, probably I learned a lot of things which I wouldn't have learned anywhere else, I believe.
Mm.
One was a focus on researching into activities, developmental activities around the world before strategizing anything. So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of planning and researching was taught in this university, and that is where I came upon topics such as Olympics, the Olympic movement, and I did a lot of research based activities on these topics. So that is where my attraction towards Olympics had started in a way. And luckily, I probably say luckily because I got an internship from the Association for International Sport for All, which is sponsored or which is affiliated to the International Olympic Committee as well. So luckily, I got to work in a sport for all movement around the world. I was on a continuous basis interacting with sports ministries, a lot of international sporting federations, national Olympic committees around the world, and consulting them on how to develop sports in their country, in their region, how to create sporting developmental activities. So that
Mm-hmm.
was a huge learning period for me, interacting with so many people globally and getting to learn a lot of things about the different cultures and different thought processes, and yes, so on and so forth.
Yeah. And how was the cultural transition happen from India to Germany and moving to the Germany? How was that happen?
Oh, that was a tough one for me. So, to be really honest, Germany is still not heavily reliant on technology. Where in
Mm-hmm.
India, we are very much dependent on technology, and the technological advancements that India has made in the last few years, it is amazing.
Yeah.
So it was nearly going back to the basics over there. And in terms of culture-wise, I think Germans are obviously perceived a little bit different, but
Mm.
I had a lot of experiences with people, which is not how the cliche one. So met a lot of German friends who were
Mm-hmm.
very open, who would love to know about the different cultures, who would interact with you no matter where you come from. So it was you can say a difficult one, but somehow
Mm-hmm.
I met people who made it easier for me to make the transition.
Yeah, because you see, there are so many people who only a few of the people right now who can go abroad and acquire such kind of pursue their masters in such kind of very niche area of market. And yeah, it is good to know that the culture transition one of the most toughest thing when you go abroad and you have to face there are so many things that you have to be learn. You have to make the new friends from the scratch because in college in India it's easy for us for right now, right? And you were in the Mumbai and you were in you pursued your master in the you pursued your bachelor's in and I think you also pursue masters in Mumbai University, and it's easy for us, no, only for the masters bachelor's I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's and apart from that, did you apply to any other universities apart from the Germany, any from the US or UK or in Australia, that you shortlisted that these are the universities where I will apply only in there?
So I applied to universities in Australia and UK as well, apart from
Mm-hmm.
Germany, and I already had offers from them too.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, as I said, this culture in Germany of sports, where people
Mm-hmm.
have sports as a part of their daily lives,
Mm-hmm.
wherein they don't need to be forced upon to play sports. It's just inbuilt in them. They create a lot of clubs, communities where people just come around for the love of sports and create a club and community where they go out, play together. So that is the culture which attracted me towards Germany, and that is why I chose Germany.
And yeah, the thing is about the Germany is, I think in the 12th, in my 12th class, and you know, in Mumbai it's called a junior college, and we having a physical education program that you have to pursue, we have to choose as an optional subject. So one thing that I learned from the in my 12th standard, that in Germany there's a, if you want to uh, make a development in an, you want to have a human development, you should open public parks, which is the main philosophy in the Germany, so that people come around, they play together, they get to know how the team work, how the team works, such kind of skill that needs to be developed. And I think Germany is very profound to um, have such kind of influence in the sporting industry also. That's why we say that how in the Germany the football clubs are working, how apart from the football there are so many athletes who are participating in track and field events, especially in javelin, because a lot of the athletes from Germany and from Czech Republic, they are pursuing their career in track and field events. So yeah, these are things which I
So
learned from, I think, in the past 9 years, that Germany that had such kind of ecosystem in the sports industry.
Definitely. I mean, that's one thing I loved about Germany. So if you
Mm,
just have a, for example, you have a basketball in your house, you just go
mhm,
to a basketball court, you're gonna make many friends. They'll just involve you in the game. They'll just won't ask you anything, and then just play with them, make friends, have a good time, and that is true with any sport. So me and my friends, we also used to play cricket in Germany.
mhm,
So we had somehow arranged a bat and a ball and everything. And
mm,
whenever we used to play in a park or anywhere, we used to see a lot of German people being excited by what is this new sport. It's similar like baseball and everything, and they also somehow sometimes joined us. Be it kids, be it this, senior guys, they would love to join us, and it's just physical activity end of the day. So they would just love to learn what is this new sport and play for some time.
yeah, yeah. For the next question would be, in Germany you work for TAFISA, and how that changed your life about, so please go ahead and tell us what is TAFISA known for, because a lot of the people in India, they don't know about such kind of organization. Please go ahead.
So the organization's full name is the Association for International Sport for All.
Hmm.
Now it develops or it promotes sport for all activities around the world.
Hmm.
So the idea is to not promote competitions, but to
Hmm.
promote a platform or promote a place where people come together and just play and have physical activity around the world. And as a global organization, the probably the mission or the aim was to create a big movement where people belong to, create a bigger community where people feel uh, want they want to play with each other, they want to involve in physical activity with each other. And there were several initiatives with the FISA that created global programs wherein people could play together, have a sense of belonging, while even if they're playing at their backyard or playing with some people, there's a sense of belonging that playing with a bigger community. So
Hmm.
there were several programs initiated around that particular idea and point of view.
Yeah.
And for me, one of the learning points over there was, since it's a global organization, the communication with on a daily basis was with people from different countries. So point in time you're talking to someone from Australia, another point you're talking to someone in Europe, then Asia, then America. So it was a surreal experience, understanding so many cultures, like, meeting so many different people around the world, and getting to know how sports works in their country, in their region.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you so much for letting us know what how the Tafisa work and what are their missions. Because in India we should have such kind of organization which can not only which not only promote the other sports in India also. So you see, in when the modern Olympics started, their only main aim was to just promote the game, so that people from different regions come together, they play such kind of events, and they have a close connection with each other, so that they can learn about the sports, what are the other sports which can be implemented in the modern Olympic games. So the basic structure, I think, I think that was the main vision of the Olympic movement, where the modern Olympic movement, which was started at that time. Now it's become the more competitive. Now the participants who are participating right now, they're aiming for achieving gold, silver, or the medals which are right now in the some Olympic game events. So yeah. Yeah. So the next question would be moving on to this. You ended up in the Price Waterhouse Coopers India office. So how is your experience till now, and how you ended up in the PwC in India? So that people who want to join the big four consultancy firms right now across the world, how they can ended up right there. So please go ahead. The floor is yours.
So with PwC, I believe it's a huge consulting firm, and my experience till now to talk about is I'm still learning about consulting. It's a very
Mm-hmm.
different kind of profession from what you have in the traditional sports management field, and it's the experience has been amazing. Getting to chance to work on a lot of projects and stuff, and coming to PwC, so it was my experience at TAFISA, which mainly helped me gauge this opportunity to come up to PwC, and also my love for esports. So, at PwC, I work mainly on service offerings around esports, real money games, Metaverse, and NFT. And in Germany, I got a bit of a hang of what esports is, what esports market is, how does it
Mm-hmm.
work. Also got a chance to play professionally in esports in Germany. So those are certain points which kind of helped me get an opportunity in PwC.
Yeah, because right now from the last 5 years, esport is something which is right now emerging market, and I think that this decade would be the decade for the esport, and how we should make a regulated market for them so that it becomes easy for not only for the government also to handle it, as well as for the players and the organization, the esport organization who are in the top tiers right now, who can handle such kind of market which is unregulated for now, but I think it's going to be um, in the future it's going to be regulated. However, you see, there's so many bills which are passed by the current parliament, the current government, because they want to restrict such kind of market. However, the technological advances which are happening right now, you cannot stop it. It's an inevitable for now, because the things which are right now working, if you say in the blockchain technology, metaverse, as well as the non-fungible tokens, which I think sports athletes are very inclined to monetize through their NFTs. So I think you are the better person to talk about it. So first, let us talk about the esport market, that how it got evolved in the last 5 years in India, and across the world, it's already started around the 2010 to 2011. So please go ahead. What you think about it in the Indian esport market?
So for me, the rise of esports in India or around the world should not come as a surprise. I'll
Mm-hmm.
tell you the reason why. So since our generation or the generation before us, probably the people from 1990s to 2000s,
Mm-hmm.
we have been playing video games since we were kids, and it is
Exactly.
something, it has been a part of life. Which, however old we grow, we are not gonna avoid doing that or not take interest in others playing video games. So as we reach that age where we are able to spend our own money, the
Mm-hmm.
market was always going to flourish. And looking at the generation right now, they are heavily involved in technology, playing games, doing different things. So the market for esports going forward in India and globally, it's going to be huge, because when you have a lot of your population playing esports and then coming to an age where they can spend money or spend their uh, vast portion of money on gaming activities or on esports, then the market is going to be huge going forward.
Yeah.
And talking about your regulations, which you talked about, and the government support that is needed. So, when I talk about the current situation,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about anyone in particular, but
Mm-hmm.
generally, there is this particular definition missing around esports and the real money games, wherein esports is mainly a game of skill, wherein
Yeah.
the real money games are obviously a game of skill, but more inclined towards game of chance. So
Mm-hmm.
they have this particular factor of game of chance in them. And that is where the definition needs to come through when a particular government is regulating this sector or looking to
Mm-hmm.
regulate this sector. Because if there is no definition, and if you are gonna have the same definition for esports and real mini games and fantasy sports,
Mm-hmm.
then I mean it's not gonna be a viable option in the long term. or for the organizations to organize events or do any developmental activities. So
Mhm.
that is one very important point that I think needs to be focused on when you're trying to regulate a sector or trying to create rules policies around it.
Yeah, because you see, there are so many esport organizations who open very. I think they hired so many roster. They hired top elite at is esport athlete, but after some point of time, they already dysfunctioning right now. There are so many things which happen in India. There are so many esport organizations from the international region. They come to India, they work for, I think, for 4 5 months, and they are not paying the salaries to the athletes as well as for the supporting stars who are handling the Indian office. And I think that's why the regulation comes to the picture. So that's why we should regulate such kind of market where players also get the salaries, all the benefits and the perks that they have to be needed, the equipment, the computer equipments, lights and other equipments which are required for their streaming, as well as how the other essential supporting staffs like sports psychologists. I think one of the most underrated things right now in esports, that the sports psychologists are not hired by such esport organization. And I think it's more not only the the skills which are involved of the fingers, as well as the mentality of the sports esport athlete is also comes into the picture once they're playing such kind of sophisticated games. And I think that's why the regulation should be make it more clear about it. So it's good to know that you talk about it more briefly about it. If you want to add something, please go ahead.
Definitely. I mean, there's no other ways that people shouldn't be getting the salaries. It's a given. If you're working, it definitely should be. And today, I mean, you look at this internet penetration in India.
Mm-hmm.
The internet penetration along with the smartphone penetration. It has gone to the rural regions, and it it just opens up a lot of opportunities even for Indian companies to do something in this particular market. And that is one area to be explored, I believe, yet to be explored, wherein we get to see an Indian game developer creating a game, and all the Indian participants playing it, just like what happens with the US, with South Korea, with Japan.
Mm-hmm.
We see a lot of their publishers or game developers creating all these nice games and people playing on it on phone, PlayStation, PC. And that is one area which I think which can be focused on going forward in this industry, and which would actually give a lot of benefits to the industry.
Yeah, and you talk about the Indian publishers, and they are working right now to launch their own games. We will not talk about it, but I think if we took a good step, the correct step right now, which is having a good ecosystem, we can really become the market leaders across the globe. The way that right now some of the games which are really good, which kind of work in the open world games, and you see how the games that we played in our childhood work. And such concept can be implemented if we having our own style of gaming. We have how our culture represent in that game, because it becomes really important. And that's why some of the games in 2020 got banned. We will not talk about it right now, because there's so many things which are involved in that. So yeah, yeah, let's move on to the next question. If you want to add something, please go ahead if you have anything.
Not
uh,
as such, nothing in detail here.
all right, so let's move on to the next question. What do you see the future of the blockchain technology, metaverse, NFTs in India? Because from the last 2 years, NFTs and metaverse something which is, I think, upcoming technologies which can change the whole game in the internet. How you see right now?
So before talking about what do I see in future, I'll
Mhm.
focus probably what's happening right now, that are trends, and
Yeah.
then go on to
Hmm.
see what are the areas which will look good in future. So at the moment, you see a lot of foreign companies, companies from US, companies from China, investing huge amounts of money in metaverse, NFTs, because they have created a service around it. They have created a ecosystem around it. And when I look in India, It's still developing, obviously.
Mhm.
uh, and when we talk particularly about metaverse, right, people have
Mhm.
this there's a myth that you need a virtual reality set,
Yeah.
or something like a huge thing on your head to experience the metaverse around you, and which might be true. It's not a completely false statement, but uh, a metaverse or a virtual world can still be at the moment built on a normal technology, and it
Mhm.
can be experienced via PC or a mobile phone as well.
Yeah.
And at the moment, that's what's happening in the Indian market. When I see some sports franchisees already developing new kind of activities are in the metaverse, which can be operated through phone and PC rather than having a virtual reality set. Uh, and I look at a lot of brands, a lot of FMCG brands as well, trying
Mhm.
to get involved with people in metaverse and uh, create new programs around it. But at this point, what I feel is that there is a need for brands, there is a need for franchisees, teams, for organizations
Mhm.
to understand where their target audience is, and what worlds or what metaverse platforms do they prefer, and what kind of activities do they like,
Mhm.
what kind of activities can they put out which can give them a new experience.
Mhm.
And that is something which needs to be researched or looked into in the next 2 to 3 years. And we all know there's when Meta when it comes out with its own metaverse technology or its own
Mhm.
platform, things are going to explode to another level. So that is when the real upscaling will start in terms of the brands investing in metaverse, brands investing in NFTs, and that would provide a huge opportunity for everyone in a way to build new ideas, to create new services on those
Mhm.
platforms. And when we talk about NFTs in particular, okay,
Mhm.
NFTs have always been there with us. It's not a new concept. Probably the term is new, but
Mhm.
let's say something around 2017, 2018, a very recent example. There were certain games which we used to play on mobile phone, and there
Mhm.
were certain avatars we could get in, or certain dance moves we could get in from that game, or
Mhm.
even a casual game where you could buy, let's say it's a shooting game, you can buy an upgrade for a gun in that game. So all those things are NFTs with certain value or built around it. It can be an emotional value, it can be a value which gives you a sense of pride in
Mhm.
front of your friends, or it's something which gives you a value in the game itself. So
Mhm.
it has always been there. The rise of it is mainly because of the the US system of cards.
Mhm.
And when popular leagues in US, they started off their NFTs
Mhm.
around a card based system like a player card or a team card. That is when things kicked off, and then we could see a lot of NFTs coming out which were just a single picture, but there were values around it. And
Mhm.
again, I'm not taking anything away from NFTs. NFTs have their own features, such as it is non-fun, it's not replaceable. It
Mhm.
is something which is unique, and a lot of efforts goes in for the creator as well to have its code signed signature inside the code, put in, so that it doesn't get duplicated or
Mhm.
mutated. And there's a lot of efforts put into NFTs overall. But the main game, which I believe where a lot of brands or anyone can focus on, is creating value around it.
Mhm.
And
And
for if you look
mhm.
at the timeline of the next 5 years or 10 years in NFTs, I think they're going to stay in the market. But it all depends on what kind of value do we add to those particular products.
Yeah, because you see lots of the athletes, they are investing in such kind of technology right now. You see David Beckham, he already invested in these NFT companies who are really inclined to monetize the sports athlete, that how, what kind of thing that they want to do it, like their signature steps. If they any footballer doing why their celebration, they are very inclined to monetize such kind of things, because you see athletes also want to monetize it in their personal capacity. So that's why I think NFT is a, I think it's a quick, easy, and easily to monetize it in the current market. Right, if you see, if we are seeing right now in the current market, about the in the sports industry. So yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I was just going through some popular NFT platforms the other day, and
Mm-hmm.
what I saw was that some popular shoe brands having their
Mm-hmm.
NFTs, wherein it's just not NFTs that they're selling, but when
Mm-hmm.
I did a more detailed research on it, when you buy that NFT, you get to use that particular avatar in other virtual worlds. Apart from
Mm-hmm.
that, you get a lot of gift vouchers from that particular brand and associated brands, which is
Mm-hmm.
kind of over and above the value of NFT you're buying at the moment.
Yeah.
And that is why people, let's say abroad or in India, are inclined towards getting an NFT or buying an NFT or going into an auction for an NFT,
Mm-hmm.
because the value around it is way more than what is being
Mm-hmm.
offered. And similarly, when we talk about athletes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of athletes provide services such as, if you get an NFT, you can have a party with me on a weekend or a
Yeah.
dinner. So all those things actually have a higher emotional value that they capture. And apart from that, when you provide material things to people, they always are limited by the a certain value end of the day. But when you provide an experience to someone,
Mm-hmm.
that is when that intangible value comes in, and that is where it can be monetized more.
Yeah, that's why the athletes and the companies, they are giving the bundle package so that they can attract more customer in their platform. So I think this is a good step to right now, because athletes are really inclined to do it such kind of things so that they can monetize it. Because ultimately, it's about the brand. They are creating their own brand because they have their own goodwill as a sports athlete.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I mean, end of the day, NFT is what, it's a product.
Yeah.
So for brands, for anyone, it's basically selling a product.
Mm-hmm.
And the more the value they create, the more expensive the product gets.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just understanding who your customer is,
Mm-hmm.
what is the amount or what is the experience they're looking for, and what are the experience you can provide, and kind of meeting in the middle.
And if any common people who buy the such NFTs, how can they can use it? If any layman person buy it right now in the certain manner, how can they use it?
I'm sorry, could you please like say it in a more detailed manner, this question?
Okay, okay. So suppose this, I am right now. I want to buy a one NFT, any NFT. Let's say there's a one athlete, a very famous athlete like David Beckham. I buy one of the bundles. Then how I can use it? Such kind of bundle NFTs which are having with me right now. How can I use it in other manner?
So, I mean, to be really honest, it depends on what are the terms of usage given by the creator itself.
All right.
But to a layman, if he wants
Mm-hmm.
to buy an NFT, I can just clear out the process on what buying an NFT and how doing it,
Mm-hmm.
it is. So there is a huge link between NFTs and crypto at the moment. There's a
Mm-hmm.
dependability. So if you
Yeah.
want to buy an NFT from majority of the websites around the world, they use cryptocurrency as the official currency on those websites. So
Mm-hmm.
the if you want to buy an NFT tomorrow, or let's say today, you have to first select what kind of NFT you want to buy. Then you
Okay.
have to select what kind of a crypto wallet you need to have, and
Okay.
that is the most important. What do you say? Decision is, because end of the day, if you want to transfer an NFT from one wallet to another wallet, it should be
Mm-hmm.
permissible. It
Yeah.
cannot be like it's I buy an NFT, it's just stuck in one wallet.
Mm-hmm.
So the selection of crypto wallet is very important. And
Mm-hmm.
when you top up or recharge the wallet with a buying a cryptocurrency, you can
Mm-hmm.
obviously go to the NFT marketplace, get involved in an auction, or just
Mm-hmm.
buy a NFT on a particular set price. That's a very basic way to buy an NFT. And when we talk about this, how do they want to use the services?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, as I give an example right now about the popular shoe brand.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you want to use that particular services, like get some vouchers from them, get some kind of accessories which they allow. So there is always an option when you buy an NFT where they provide you
Mm-hmm.
with the link on, you click the link, you go to the website, you get your show that you are the original owner of the
Mm-hmm.
NFT, and there are certain options you get that you can buy particular items, and you buy
Mm-hmm.
those items. Apart from that, because it is a very open process, right? All
Mm-hmm.
your data is somehow very open to people who have sold you the NFT. So they know where you live, what like who are you, and they most of the times send you things, send you additional care packages or packages to your place, and give you the benefit of having an NFT.
Yeah, I think that's become more clear picture for now because there are so many people who talk about in various platform where I was in a part like in Discord. Where people really want to know how the NFTs work. So I think this question is that you such a beautifully in the way that you answer such kind of questions. So yeah. So let's move on to next question. So what are your future plans and how you see the future plans of sports in India in the future? So how you see right now?
So, when I talk about my future plan, I would love to keep continuing working in this particular sector when
Mm-hmm.
this esports, metaverse, NFTs, because there's a lot to learn.
Mm-hmm.
No one in this sector can yet be called an expert,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a huge opportunity which will go around in this particular sector, which I can foresee, and that is why I want to stay connected to the sector in some or the other way. And when you talk about this sector's future opportunities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I talk about India as a market,
Mm-hmm.
there is a huge opportunity because of the sheer number of users, internet users, the sheer number of brands that we have, and the opportunities that can be created out of it. And on a very unrelated note, I can give you an example on why do I think such.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a recent report when I saw that IPL is just as popular as famous US leagues or European leagues.
Yeah.
And even though there is not a huge amount of viewership outside India, but that sheer number of people in India and the sheer number of people that can spend money on a particular sport in India is huge. And
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about esports, right, when I talk about the internet penetration in India is so huge that kids today are playing games on their phones. They are going to the streams of some gamer and following that game. So this opportunity for esports is going to be huge. And similarly, somehow metaverse NFTs are such topics that are connected to esports.
Mm-hmm.
And if esports or gaming goes ahead, there is a huge opportunity for metaverse and NFTs going ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. Yeah. It's really good to that you talk about how your career started in this junior college and then you went to the Mumbai University and you work in the sports girls and then you went to the Germany where you pursued your masters and then right now you ended up in the PwC India. So any the one last question would be do you what are the books and materials that you can recommend to the people who want to get to know what the knowledge that you possess right now and how they can acquire it? If you want to answer it, then go ahead.
So, I mean, that's a tricky part because, to be really honest, I haven't read any books or articles on and educated. It's all about experiences, I believe. And apart from
Hmm.
experiences, in today's world, there's a lot of information available online. You go
Yeah.
anywhere, you will find all the information that is needed.
Hmm.
So, I mean, books have their own importance, and I'm not denying that fact. But
Hmm.
if you want to understand a lot of things in world,
Hmm.
then I think this online is the place you can be. Or apart from online or learning anything, I just believe just dive, just go in the market, just work,
Hmm.
just do something, and the practical experience that you will learn from the market or from the industry is much higher than what you can read.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why people like us who are working as an independent because I just started my career as a sports and gaming lawyer, and that's why people who are very inclined to work not in the sports legal industry as well as in the sports industry, they can just join as an intern or do such kind of pro bono position work in their early career, and then they can join any of the firms because once you possess such certain skills, companies and organizations do value such kind of a skill that you possess, which is very niche in the market. So yeah, because right now I'm
And
working right now in a sports legal industry. It's a very niche market. Only few the players right now who are working in this industry. So that it's become really important for us also to understand such kind of market as well as acquire the skill which can be helped to your clients also. So yeah, go ahead if you want to add something.
So I receive a lot of messages. Just pressing to this particular point. So I receive a lot of messages on LinkedIn or on
Mm-hmm.
WhatsApp through friends, wherein people want to pursue their careers in sports management but do not know the right way to do it, or they're working in some other sector and want to jump to sports management.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one thing I always tell them that just get in the field. Whatever opportunity you get, just try and get in the field. Do not look at what are they offering and everything. It's something when you're starting out your career, right? When trying to gain that basic knowledge, those things should not really matter. What should
Yeah.
matter is your hunger to learn, your hunger to just grab knowledge from everywhere possible, and then
Yeah.
understand where you want to go, and
Mm-hmm.
then build upon it.
Yeah, so that's it for today. So thank you so much, Keyur, for coming for this podcast and accepting our offer in the short duration. So it's really good that you come on board, and we so much talk about it, the NFTs, metaverse, blockchain technology, your career that you started from the Mumbai, and then you came back in the Germany, and you work in the TAFISA, and then you ended up in the PwC-India. In which office right now in India, Mumbai or Bangalore?
I'm in Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad. Oh, all right. So yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
And thanks Tushar for having me over, and it was lovely talking to you on being on your podcast, and it's a moment I would cherish.
Thank you so much, everyone, for hooking up till the end of this episode. If you really like this episode, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe our channel. If you are watching this on YouTube or you are listening from the any Spotify, Amazon Music, and any other listening platform, please follow us. You can also check our social media platform. You can follow us where we always put some interesting content from our side. Apart from that, please go and check out the Sports Lawyer Masterclass. I will put the link in the description box. Go and check that out. And yeah, we'll meet you in the next episode. Until then, goodbye, everyone.